Going all the way back to Tekken 7, Harada had big plans for Lydia Sobieska. This news article right here rocked the player base. When you scroll down to the news article, you get to this question here. And why exactly is the character the Prime Minister? Now Harada says there's two reasons. The first one, we wanted to have a character who would represent the country in future storylines. That one sentence was amazing. If you stop and think about it, the Mishimas, yes, they themselves are very powerful. Going one-on-one with Heihachi, Kazuya, or Jin will probably result in death. But we never seen before a government figure within the world of Tekken at least try to strike back against the Mishima Zaibatsu. It's always Zaibatsu versus G Corporation. Never before has Russia, US, or any other thing like got involved in a major way. So Lydia being a Prime Minister of Poland, having a real army on her side, I was wanting to see her try to hold them accountable for the actions and the things that they've done in the past. And the second reason kind of emphasizes this. He talks about how since the 90s, this is something that they kind of never done, a political character. And this can give the fans not only of Poland, but everyone a huge surprise. And the reason specifically why Poland was chosen, because in their history, they had a lot of female leaders. So in Tekken 7, Harada saw all of these things. Potential to elevate the story, the potential to add a political figure, but also make that figure a strong female character. If you think about it, this is something that the Tekken audience was also asking for, a macho female, not one of the cutesy characters.
They feel that the market wants the females to be very young and very attractive. And that just bores me. It bores the shit out of me. Most of the females, they have these nice, sexy, fashion dresses. Some of them fight in high heels. Not a lot of them look like proper fighters, in my opinion.
Lydia was encompassing all of that. For those of you who don't know the backstory behind her, her father was killed in a terrorist attack that was aimed at her grandfather. He was in a helicopter. The helicopter was rigged. It blew up. It crashed. She was standing there watching the whole entire thing and she was hit in the face by shrapnel. That is how she got her scar. From that point on, her bond with her grandfather grew extremely close. She also unlocked this fighter spirit within her and started to learn karate and join in multiple tournaments, becoming a world dominating champion. She then entered the world of politics and became the Prime Minister of Poland at the early age of 29. It's at this point where Heihachi steps into the fray and he puts Mishima Zaibatsu's soldiers in Poland. He just has them stationed there. Now Lydia has a big problem with this because of all of Tekken 6, all of 7, all of 8. They just cause chaos. So she's like, move these soldiers out of here or else. And Heihachi's response to that was to send her a letter. It says, "Dear Miss Prime Minister, I do not intend to follow your request with the withdrawal of Tekken Force deployment in Poland. Basically, if you have a problem with it, come to the King of Iron Fist tournament and face me."
1v1 you pussy!
Now, even though that's fire, I also have issues with that because she is a political leader. Going over to a enemy country to fight its leader is not a good idea. You either have to be incredibly strong to fight Heihachi one-on-one, or you're incredibly stupid. But I always thought she should just wage war against them. When you start to get into Tekken 8, things get a little bit more interesting. And it starts off by saying Lydia Sobieska is not only a world-class karate champion, but is also one of the political world's most passionate foodies. This is something that they highlighted in the trailer, her reading her book, talking about what restaurant she's going to go to next. If we're lucky, maybe it'll be Waffle House. It then goes on to talk about how she's very critical of the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation. She hates them basically. The last sentence of this that I want to read, it says, Lydia is painfully aware that the good intentions alone are not suffice to protect the innocent lives. She believes that people need a symbol of power to embody justice, but rally a force capable of opposing the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corp is no easy task. To help gather intelligence on her opposition inconspicuously, she forms an alliance with the secret underground organizations such as the Manji clan. led by Yoshimitsu. Now, if you stop there and you think about what we were told in Yoshimitsu's bio, in his bio, he was like going deep into these caves and he was searching for like relics and artifacts. It was talking about how he was corrupted by this weird dark energy. It tried to overtake him. That was probably because Lydia had him do that. The way that Tekken 8 is intertwining these different bios is absolutely amazing. I wish we could have seen canonical endings for these in Tekken 8, but the bios will have to do. Let's keep reading. It says, among the vast supply of information brought to her, one document in particular catches her attention. It appears that old acquaintance and family friend Eddie Gordo acts as the commanding officer of the Tekken Force. The Eddie of Lydia's past was a hardworking and loyal to a fault. Something must have happened to make him collaborate with the Tekken Force. So with the help of Yoshimitsu, Lydia saves Eddie from imminent annihilation. So in Eddie's bio, we were told that Yoshimitsu saved him from his battle against Kazuya and also G Corporation. But now it seems Lydia was also there, and it may have been this huge battle going on. Yoshimitsu, Lydia, her army, Kazuya, G Corporation, Lucky Chloe, their army, battling to rescue Eddie, and then they eventually pull him out. And in the part there where it talks about the family friends, if you think deep back into Eddie's lore, his family was very wealthy and powerful, and they lived in Brazil. They had a lot of connections. This is why they were targeted and eventually, I believe, assassinated. Eddie was framed for it. So this is once again just tying so many things together. So many plot points is coming together with these bios. Excellent. Let's keep reading. Reunited for the first 10 years, Lydia learns the sins that Eddie has committed while they were apart. Rather than condemn him, she understands his hand was forced and instead offers him a beacon of hope, talking about him teaming up with Jin in the hopes of saving his master. A quote here says, "No, we cannot cast aside those whose hands have been stained by unjust power. Instead, we must act as torches of hope in the light of night, to lead them back to the path of righteousness and pave the way to a peaceful world." So Eddie and Lydia come together to form a new ragtag unit of fighters made up of Tekken 4 soldiers who could be convinced to change their ways. This is what we saw in the trailer. Eddie convincing everyone. Nina didn't like that. At the same time, however, a certain entity has been accelerating the spread of chaos and destruction. Having won the war against Mishima Zaibatsu, G Corporation has kicked an armed invasion of other countries into high gear. This is talking about Kazuya Mishima and everything he's doing in Tekken 8. In response, Lydia quickly takes the lead of public opinion and convinces an international congress to adopt sanctions against G Corporation, all while expediting the creation of battle strategies and expansion of troops in preparation for an inevitable showdown. Lydia, Eddie, Yoshimitsu versus Kazuya Mishima. Now in the trailer we also seen Eddie and Jin coming together. We know that Jin feels bad about what he did. Maybe all four of them will unite against Kazuya Mishima. But the thing that I say is, right now Kazuya Mishima is currently with Jun Kazama. We don't know how that relationship will pan out. If Kazuya becomes good because Jun Kazama's back, will he then also work with Jun Kazama? I don't think Kazuya is going to make that change so suddenly. But here's another thing you gotta consider. Reina is this sleeping dog, this underlying threat. Maybe Jin, Lydia, Yoshi, Eddie, all of these guys will be rallying to fight Kazuya Mishima and take him down, and then all of a sudden Reina pops up out of nowhere. What they're setting up is incredible. The way that they're weaving in these characters is really cool, and this is what I wanted out of Tekken. Not only a story that pushes forward, moves ahead, but also has major callbacks to things in the past and intertwine these things to make it make sense and also make it matter. When I get upset about characters like Asuka, Lily, Feng Wei, and how they're one, either forgotten or two, misused, this is why, because you can see here with this bio that when they want to tell a nice juicy story they can.